Hi guys, my name is Becky. Thank you all very much for coming to Phoenix. I hope you come next year.
Hope so.
I'm a big fan of all of your work, movies and everything, but are you guys big fans of professional MMA? I noticed you're wearing the shirts, and I was talking to Mr. Logan about last night's fights. So you guys like UFC, Dream?
Yeah, you know what's funny? I never liked the UFC. I never liked the UFC before. I didn't get why two guys were on the floor hugging each other at first. Honestly, seriously. And then when I had my knee injury, I was sitting there editing, and I had a small TV playing. I started watching the UFC, the TV show. You know, the guys get, you know, like training and stuff.
Ultimate Fighter.
The Ultimate Fighter, yes. And then I was impressed because that type of training is what I do. You know, like mixing it up and so I got more educated on what was going on. And you know, it's funny because I woke up this morning and I put this in my suitcase and I was thinking of Daniel, because Daniel and I went to Affliction, met the owner, and he gave us a bunch of cool stuff, and you know, and I really like with the guys, you know, some of the athletes, you know, the training they go through, and there's some good role models in the UFC, and we both turned up wearing the same T-shirt this morning, so it was funny, you know, but I like watching it. Like, I didn't watch the fight last night because I didn't want to pay $50 towards a hotel to watch it. Yeah, you know, but it's nice to watch it with a group of guys, you know, and you know what I like watching? I like watching the training they do, you know, like even, I don't like watching fighting as much. I like to watch what they did to get where they're getting at, you know, I like to watch the backstories, you know, so the guys are fit, they're fit guys.
Well, have you ever thought about doing MMA?
Only if I got paid a lot of money. This is my idea of doing like the UFC fight. I go out there, get the biggest guy ever, yeah, give me $10 million trillion, and I'll come out, showboat, this boat, and do flips and somersaults, box splits, do the Van Damme. As soon as he comes out and he breathes on me, I'm going to faint. I'll go home and take my money.
Thank you very much.
As being a fan, we all have who we want to be, who we want to act as, or who we just want to be. Do you guys have that?
Batman.
What about you, Daniel?
I have many people. I mean, I'm inspired by Johnny Depp. I just think he's magnificent, you know, and what he does. I love acting. I love the whole concept of it, and I just love being able to take people on journeys. To tell you the truth, any character. I mean, talking about Kevin Spacey, I think he's an extraordinary actor also, so he just doesn't get, you know, the glorify that he should deserve. But
maybe he doesn't want that though.
I'll take it for him.
You know, there's a lot of actors out there that, you know, keep below the line, but they do really well.
Well, look at Tim, you know, Django Fett. You know, we hang out with him because we're friends, but he lives in New Zealand, he likes his little island, you know? It's strange, as soon as they said there's an airplane waiting for you to go to America, I said, no return ticket. Leave me in America, I don't need to go back to New Zealand. But, no, I love New Zealand. But, no, yeah, I love to play, like, characters where people are like, that's not Daniel Logan. And Boba Fett gave me the opportunity, you know, I wasn't known at the time, so people only look at me as Boba Fett now. But, I mean, as Ray said, you slowly progress, and hopefully, sometime, if not, you know, continue with Boba, you know, hopefully, be the next Van Damme or something.
See, I want Daniel to play Boba Fett in a TV show, okay? What is, I can say kid, but he's not this young man. What he can do is unbelievable. I mean, like, I know, like, if he had the opportunity to play anything, but it'd be nice to see him as Boba Fett. Like now, if he's kick ass.
Thank you.
Forgive me for swearing.
Hi, my name is Sage Greenwald. I had a question for the both of you. Throughout Star Wars, the development of you guys developed your characters, did you know straight away from the audition how you were going to play the character, or did it develop as you started to learn more about the Star Wars history?
No, for me, I knew straight away. That earlier I touched on it when I was speaking to Nick Gillard, and I said, this is why I can do this, I can do this, I can do that, I can do this. It was like something was in me, like Snake Eyes as well. I knew exactly what I was going to do to play Snake Eyes, and some other roles too. Toad, I was a bit confused, because it was like, okay, I still had the old Toad in my head from the comics. What can I do differently? But with Darth Maul, what you saw on screen, I did a little bit different on my audition tape and what I was playing. I saw him more as a silent warrior, you know, like he didn't show emotion too much. He wasn't about the growling and the grimacing. It was more about dark. And I saw him as like a gentleman in a sense, like he was old school. He didn't, he didn't even have to look at you to strike. He's more you know. But for film, you've got to change it up a little bit. But that's intention was still there, you know, just the whole, you know, looking and, you know, and George actually asked me to, you know, show the teeth off a little bit, you know, do that. I didn't want to do that, you know, but you've got to animate yourself a little bit, you know, and but there wasn't too much of that for Darth Maul. If you watch the film, he's just very, just to the point. Even when the two puppets are talking, he's just there like, okay, let's get to business. You know, he doesn't have to do much, so I pretty much knew. It's nice to have that sometimes because you're in it, you know, you're a big kid and you want to play this part. You know, sometimes when you see a picture, you just know what you could do with that imagination. If that makes sense.
Yeah. And me, I never knew. I grew up in New Zealand where my mom, we weren't, in New Zealand you're either rich or you're kind of poor. You know, it's very hard to get into the rich if you ain't come from very much. My mom had 5 kids, so we lived in a small house with a lot of people, and whenever you were going to McDonald's or a movie theater, you kind of like ran around your neighborhood telling everyone like you're going to Disneyland kind of thing. But I didn't know I didn't know Star Wars. I mean, I wasn't a fan because I just couldn't afford to be a fan, you know? Star Wars fans are the richest fans I know in the world, man. But, so walking into it, I didn't know who Boba Fett was, so I had to do my research. And George got me my own little TV on set when everyone else was filming, and action, all right, put on mute. So I'd sit there and, where's Boba Fett? No Boba Fett, you know? So then the next movie, boom, bam, pause, oh, was that him? Maybe, no. So I didn't have much to go on from research, so then I turned to putting on the costume. And once I put on that outfit, I couldn't really walk properly without because I had my ankles, you know, you're walking like an alien or a robot, a droid. So once you get the outfit on, you become the character. You're like, all right, here we go. And then your other characters around you, they help you. They tell you, all right, Daniel. Like this one, when Tom Wee comes to my house, I look at him. George's advice to me was look at him like you're looking at someone suspicious. Well, I have a big brother, and I was like, well, like the police coming to my house? What did you just say? Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Background check. No. So then Ewan comes to me, he's like, Daniel, just do a fart. Do a face like I did a very smelly fart. Can you do that? All right, I guess. So, you know, and then, you know, I would try something, and then the other actors would be like, oh, why don't you try this, you know? And everyone being around, they all help you out. And I mean, for my character, being a little kid, you know, and not knowing much about Boba Fett, that was the thing that helped me out. And just interacting with everyone with that costume on, you can't help but be Boba Fett.
Thank you.
Thank you. Unfortunately, we only have time for one more question.